Hi everyone, welcome to the Alyssa Goodman Show. And today I have two ladies, very special ladies, who have a podcast they launched a year ago, only a year ago, and it's actually number 11 on the wellness charts, which is phenomenal. I was just gonna say a cuss word.
I was like, hey.
It's Christy and Lindsay, and Krista and Lindsay, sorry, darling.
No.
And they're actually from New York. They really are rocking the wellness arena with this podcast. I was just on it this week and it was so much fun talking to them. So I'm gonna let them tell you their story and how you guys got together. I know you're friends, but how this all came about and this podcast. And I know that you wrote a book, like an ebook on telling podcasters, because it's the new hot thing, how to do it, which is really amazing. In just a year's time, I'm really impressed.
Yeah,
it's
probably
incredible.
not the Bible. It's not the end all be all, but it'll get you
But
started.
still,
yeah, because it's been so popular for all of our friends and people that we know really well, and in our community really have been inspired by our podcast. And it feels weird to say that, but it's very true. So people want to start their podcast, so we've helped show them how. But
how did you get together?
Yeah, Lindsay and I met a little over 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I was living in New York at the time. Lindsay was living in LA. She had just moved from New York to LA for SoulCycle. And I was obsessed with SoulCycle. I wanted to be an instructor so bad. I fell in love with it. I was idolized my instructors. I would ride 100 times a week. I was spending all my money on, I mean, not, but I would do 7 times a week sometimes.
Right.
Because you have to do that. In New York, it's really competitive.
To be an instructor.
Yes, you have to audition. There's a really, really difficult process to become an instructor. So I was like, I need all the help I can get. Does anyone know an instructor that I could talk to, that would help give me tips and pointers and stuff like that? So a mutual friend connected us. We talked on FaceTime. And she was so helpful. She gave me all the songs basically that I would ever need. And she's like, this is your party popper, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, use my own songs. Didn't get it. So didn't get the audition at all.
Really?
No.
Oh, wow.
So didn't get it, which is fine.
Yeah.
But met her and then moved to LA a few months after with my boyfriend. And then in LA, we started hanging out. And we were just really having these deep conversations and these insightful conversations, or what we thought were deep and insightful, also funny and fun, about this transition that we were going through.
Right.
So it was from 20s to 30s. We were moving closer to our 30s.
Yeah.
Figuring out, being with someone for the rest of your life, where you want to live for your life, what kind of career you want. So really coming into your own and standing in your light. We thought, how could we really expand this and bring in more people and kind of educate ourselves, and then also create a cool community of people that were kind of going through the same things that we were going through.
So it's not just about wellness, this podcast.
Oh, no.
So you bring in all different areas of business and all different things that people are doing.
So basically to help people navigate any transition. So whether it is that time in their life when they're taking ownership of their health, or maybe they're quitting their job and starting their own business, or they just got into a serious relationship and they think he might be the one or she might be the one, and just helping them to be themselves as they navigate this transition. Because I think in the wellness space, it's kind of hard because you feel like you need to be her or him or do what they're doing.
Right.
And for us, we want to
not
give you
be your own self, follow your own.
We want to give you the tools and the inspiration and the motivation to be you and to just rock any transition. And it's been incredible, the people that have showed up and just have related, because we're learning right along with them.
Right.
So, we don't stand up there and we know everything. It's,
exactly.
Every interview, we are learning right along with our listeners, which I think is what draws people to Almost 30.
Right. Because you guys don't claim to know it all. And that's why, it's fun to be able to surprise you on the show, right? To have guests say something and you're like, wow, I never knew that. What are some of the, can you share some of the surprises that you've had on the show? I know that.
So many. There was one that we had, her name, it's kind of a surprising one. Her name is Thais Sky, and she's a health life coach.
Right.
And her concept about, and this is just her opinion, it's, different than a lot of people's, but I thought it was very interesting. So she's a life coach for many women, and many of those women, for how much she's charging, end up being very privileged. So it's expensive and it's kind of an extra cost oftentimes to have a life coach, and a lot of women can't afford it. So she had this epiphany where she was thinking, if I really want to make an impact on a lot of people, I have to find a different way that I'm not charging just certain women that can afford my services a lot of money. So she's like, I need to stand in my truth and do what I said I'm going to do. So I'm going to offer like my services at a discount for women that really need it, and really try to find women that really, really need my services rather than really privileged women who are kind of fine tuning things that maybe don't even need to be fixed. So that one really, like, that was the first one ever that I was like, whoa, yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she was amazing. And we had on Lacey Phillips recently.
Yeah,
and,
I know Lacey.
Yeah. She rocks.
She rocks.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, she's beautiful. She rocks.
Yes, she's beautiful, smart, present.
She stands in her own power, right?
And I started to think about her idea of the expanders in your life.
Good one.
The people and the places and the opportunities that help you to relate to them, one, and almost like train your subconscious to say or to think or believe that that could be me. You know, so
interesting.
So for example, I love watching interviews of actresses who I love.
Yeah.
And if they're talking about how they got started, oh, they went to this acting class or this school, oh, that's where I am right now, and I can see myself having the success like they are having. It's just kind of surrounding
you put yourself in their shoes more so.
In a way,
like
it just helps your subconscious to believe that you can achieve that success and get to that point. So that really helped me, because it helped me to understand certain people that have come into my life recently.
Right.
And I was like, why are they here? Like, I don't really know, you know?
Yeah.
And then I was like,
were they good people that came into your life, or was it good and
not so good?
Not so good.
Yeah,
okay.
like with dating and stuff in LA. I'm like, why did
that's a whole subject.
Did I meet him? You know what I mean?
Yeah. We talk about that too.
Yeah. Oh, he showed me this.
Right.
Oh, he showed me that I really love this, or I really don't love it. You know, it's just interesting to kind of pick it apart that way.
So there is a reason for like everybody who does come across your path. Right, like you said. I mean, that is a beautiful way to look at those people getting across your path, instead of going, ooh, I don't like them, but maybe there's something I need to learn from them. Totally. Right? Wow. Well, we'll be right back with you guys, and we'll dive more into maybe a little dating stories.
Yes.
I'm just so curious, because LA is not an easy place.
Not an easy place.
But we'll be right back. I can't tell you how excited I am about the Alyssa Goodman Show. I've partnered with ready? Not ready. I have focus with Focus TV. My brain is like going whoop, whoop. I'm sorry. It's like, why is this so hard? Hey, all you need is a private chef and some Botox and a stylist, and you're good to go. Hi, we're back with Lindsay and Krista from Almost 30 Podcast. Oh my God, it's been one of those days. Sorry about that, everybody. So you got it.
You got it. You got it. It's a broadcast.
We're gonna try. Yeah, like
podcast.
I could fuck up, right? Yeah, whatever. But we were talking about, you know, sort of owning your power and like stepping into what you want to do in your life and your passion and your purpose. So it really sounds like you guys are helping people do that. And so tell me a little bit more about how you guys are, you know, what are you doing for yourselves to do that?
Sure.
Personally.
Well, one thing we've found that meeting our listeners in person and having an intimate setting to connect with them has been really valuable, not only to us, but to them as well, and to connect with each other.
So you're doing events.
So we do events.
Okay.
Yeah. And
a lot of them?
We've done about four or 5 events, and Our latest one that we did was a Sex, Love, and Other Things event.
Really?
And it was just
that.
It was beautiful. It was, we didn't just, sit down and like talk about sex. It was more about, empowerment and, loving your body and connection with your partner in an authentic way. And we also had entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs in like the sex tech space come in. It was just so interesting, and people were so willing and open to participate
and talk about things that were intimate.
It was hard at first; it's a little uncomfortable, and then you saw them kind of like relax, and it was beautiful. So for us, like to have 40 women in a room, and connect like that for a couple hours, just helps us, re-inspires us, to keep moving forward and to build this brand to reach more people.
Right. Wow. That is beautiful. I mean, I know when you personally, instead of just having them listen to your show, to actually have that personal connection with them is really powerful.
And it's cool with the sex event. No one else is really talking about that kind of stuff. And for us, it's more about like the relationship that you have or where you get your ideals around sex. Like, is it from your parents? Is it from, your religion or the community that you build in? So it's just going beyond like the actual physical act of sex and kind of thinking about it in the wellness arena of like how you can improve your relationship with your sexuality. So for us, it's like we always want to do something different and always just bring new topics or help be expanders for women. So that's what the podcast is a lot of times. So, when Lindsay and I are having conversations with these people that are expanders, I mean, I was learning so much during our conversation. We record them and then we share them with other women and they become expanders and they realize that they can have a life that they dream or they can make steps to better their life just using simple steps that they hear on our podcast. So that's like the best part of having the podcast. And for us in the future, it's having more in-person events so we can learn more, so we can grow more and kind of really facilitate that community feeling. And then just building on it and making it bigger and reaching more and more women and men. I think we always forget about men.
I was going to say, do you reach men?
We do,
So,
we do.
Okay.
They're a little
I would
quieter.
think,
but they
They're
listen.
not women. Right.
Yeah, I have a friend who just texted me the other day and he's like, hey, I've been listening to the podcast. Sorry, I haven't reached out, but I'm really learning a lot about XYZ.
Yeah, but oh my gosh.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I love that.
The guys that listen say like this is the best way to learn about women too.
Yes, if they're smart.
I was just going to say that. That is really smart for them to
what's in our brains.
Have you had men on?
Yeah.
Okay.
We had my boyfriend on before and his best friend. That was really fun. We've had comedians on, which is so fun and fun.
Luke Story we just had on, who's amazing. He's a biohacker.
Right.
Who else? We've had on more women, obviously, but we're conscious of the fact that
you want to do both and you want to reach, but
we try and reach both.
Right. So what are some things that like the two of you really find fascinating with your life and what you find, like you, how do you want to grow?
I think for me, being in this kind of space where I'm exposed to so many amazing, interesting people and information, it's, I'm learning so much and that is part of what's going to make me grow, but it is a lot of information. And I've realized actually in the past year where I've grown so much, I feel really good about who I am and where I'm at. But I'm aware now of sort of things that are holding me back or sort of challenges more than I have ever been.
Really? So it's made you more conscious.
Yeah, it's like, okay, that's actually something like the sex thing.
Yeah.
That was something for us. I was like, I've never thought about why I feel the way I feel about sex.
Yeah.
I've never thought about it. So
it's just the way you feel.
Yeah, it's just the way I feel. And so it's like I need to do the work and kind of understand that and just have a great relationship. Or like with Lacey coming on, she talks a lot about reparenting. So I was thinking a lot about like why I feel the way I feel about money or accepting love in my life, and it just makes things very obvious to you that you could work on and improve. So I have a lot of things that I want to work on from a personal front for the year, but it's just becoming more closely aligned to who I'm really meant to be.
Right. And that's such a beautiful thing. Like that is what it's all about, like in this whole, discovering yourself, really.
And the podcast has really helped me to realize that I can stick with something, and especially when you have a partner, to do it. I mean,
so have you not stuck with things in the past?
Oh, sure, yeah.
So you've done things and then switched and switched.
So I think for me, so I'm an actress as well, and I think I tend to resist things that I want the most sometimes.
Right.
So
you push them away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it scares me that, oh, if this is successful, then I really have to like dig
up.
my heels in and like here we go.
Right.
So this has really been such a like really interesting, challenging, but eye-opening period of growth for me.
Right.
To know that I can, one, stick with something like this to help it grow, and to be really vulnerable too. I'm pretty vulnerable, or anyway.
Yeah.
But this has been interesting because so many people are listening and wanting to know how we feel, and knowing that our opinions and what we're doing matters to people, which is like kind of a big thing to swallow.
It is a big thing.
Wow.
Very
so it's a lot
big.
of responsibility too. But I think this is also preparing us for like the next level of Almost 30, the next level in our individual careers, you know? So it's almost like I can see it like down the line,
down
what
the
this is
road.
preparing us for. So it's a challenge to be really present and to celebrate those little victories instead of being like, well, we're not here yet, or we don't have what they have yet.
Right. Just focusing on what you guys are learning and how much you're growing, and like, you know, the power of what you are doing for yourselves, even if it just affects one or two people, but it's affecting a lot of people. But it's pretty amazing. I know. It's like when something's right, isn't it the most incredible feeling? Just the power of that.
There's an ease, and there's like, and things just show up. We've had people show up in our life
that come across your path that you never thought were ever gonna. Right.
And they believe in the podcast, and they believe in what we're doing.
What are some of those things? What are some things that kind of have come across your path that you never dreamed would happen?
I think a lot of the opportunities that we've had, and I never really thought about myself as like a business owner.
Yeah.
So I did in some ways, because, you know, my blog is my business, but this is like a true business that we're running with like employees or people that work for us.
Yeah.
And that we, you know, potentially could be talking to investors about. And, you know, so I never thought that I would be really just running stuff the way that we are, and kind of like worrying about paying employees, or worrying about like what studio we're going to record at, or like taxes, or like trademarking stuff. You know what I mean? I never thought that I'd be doing something like that. So those are some of the things that I think about.
And we've had just so many people cross our path, and they're willing to help us.
Help you guys. Yeah.
For, you know, for no, you know, we didn't seek them out or necessarily in the beginning could pay them, but we have our producer Chloe who works with us now, and we just feel so lucky. That was out of the blue. We didn't know that she was going to be
like amazing,
an integral part of like our show.
Yeah.
And she's grown so much, and it's just cool to, as you grow the business, to watch people who work with you grow, sponsors that we've worked with from the beginning, they've grown because working with us, and vice versa. So it's cool.
Yeah.
But it's also overwhelming. You just kind of sit back and you're like,
is this really all happening?
Yeah.
And how, like, you have to pinch yourself.
Lucky. Yeah, we're so lucky.
Sometimes, right? So you guys have careers on the side as well. So you do the podcast and you have your own careers. Like, is that hard? I mean, I'm just curious for women out there that the balance of those two things.
I mean, you came over, you know, after work, after, you know,
a long day for you guys. Yeah.
So a lot of times we're recording at, you know, 7:30 till 9:30, 10.
Wow.
At nights, like most weeks, you know, we've had probably 12 hours of episodes or recordings that sound was messed up or something like that. So it's like, you really have to like put in the time, go with the flow, and not everything is going to be like the finished product.
Right.
You know, you see this like great podcast that has this like great sound quality and stuff, but we have a bunch of, you know, and then hours of us just talking where they never are going to see the light of day.
Oh, no.
So it's hilarious. So balancing my career and my blog and with this is never stops.
Yeah.
You know,
is it hard?
Yeah, it's really hard, but
what do you do for yourself? Do you take any time?
Like self-care.
Okay,
I meditate twice a day, which changes.
Twice a day.
I'm like
Love
twice,
it.
sir.
Okay.
Helps me get to bed because otherwise I can't sleep that well.
Yeah.
And then just making sure to work out, and I'm really, really efficient with my time. So I'm not messing around. I'm never just looking at Instagram randomly. I don't watch TV. So I really just make my time as efficient as possible. If I'm with someone, I'm with someone. If I'm doing something, I'm doing something.
Okay.
So, yeah.
What do you do for yourself?
So, yeah. So I'm teaching like 12, 13 SoulCycle classes a week, and then running to
Yikes, girl.
auditions, and then we're doing the podcast. So,
What's
it's
your
challenging.
downtime like? Is there any?
No.
Very little. No, there's very little, which isn't always good. You know, and we know when we do need it.
Yeah.
You know, we'll have 8 things planned, and then we look at each other. We're like, I think we need like
Some little bit of break.
Yeah.
You know, like Chris is in a relationship. I mean, that is also something that takes energy and love, and you know, it's like, the self-care piece is so important. I try on my day off, whether it's a massage or
You go to the beach
we live
sometimes.
we live by the water, so that's kind of like my place to just
Like
reconnect
regroup.
and regroup. But it's not easy. It's
not
It's
easy.
not
No,
easy.
I
I
know.
mean, anyone who tells you it is, they're probably lying. It's really hard, but that's I think why we've been successful. And Chris has taught me so much in that vein of, you know, really making
Like having
good
anxiety.
use of your
Just
time.
like freaking out all the time, like being really stressed out.
How to be okay with that anxiety and freaking out again.
Yeah, she's taught me how to freak out all the time.
But she's so good at using her time.
Right.
And so it's
so
like,
that helps you.
my
Stay
God.
focused.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, if you guys had to sum up, you know, you each can say a word, your mission. Do you have one word you would say?
One word for the mission.
Yeah.
Oh.
Tough one.
I would say
Or-
community or like elevate. You know, community because we really are a community. It's about the messaging of helping women or helping people live their best lives. And I know that sounds very cliche, but it's really what we do, and it's a message that people receive. And then elevate, just really helping make people be better and just really think about things that they wouldn't have thought about before.
Right.
Yeah, I'd say connection to yourself, to the community, to your partner, to your passion, to, you know, whatever it is, just helping people really become clear and grounded in every connection that they make.
Oh, you guys are awesome.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's gonna be so
also,
good.
and
We're
it's
so
been
excited.
such a pleasure meeting you guys. I mean, what a great week.
Yeah.
Really,
So
like a
good.
double treat.
And I can't believe you met your daughter first.
I know.
love her.
She's like,
Yeah.
so thank you for being on my show.
Thank you
Thank
for
you,
having
everyone.
us.
I have to listen to their podcast.
Yes.